Hello there, Pastafarians, it's me, Schizophrenic Mitch. Welcome to this week's Pastafarian worship service. Welcome to Friday. Another fucking Friday. It happened again. Congratulations. Friday is, of course, the holiest day, as evidenced by the phrase TGIF, thank Glob for Friday. Thank Glob it's Friday, my apologies. TGFF for Friday. My name is Schizophrenic Mitch. I'm a Pastafarian street preacher. I've been a minestrone since May of 2015. I often go in the streets and talk to people about how the God they worship is evil and wrong and they need to wake up and stop behaving this way. You can see my videos on this channel and also in the future. You can see more videos coming your way. But today is Friday, and so it's good to go over the rituals and get the serious business done. To have our weekly traditions that we, that is what makes us a cult. A lot of people say, come on, why are you using the word cult? And it's like, because I aspire to be the leader of the one true cult on this planet. And I think that you would agree that I'm doing well at achieving that. I think that you would agree that my efforts show that that is what I'm working towards. I am endeavour for that to be the case. And I challenge the other cult leaders to say the same thing. And so that basically that. What is a cult in the very loosest idea? I think the cult is a group of people who share not so much beliefs, but rituals, because I don't think it makes you a cult if you believe in math. I don't think it's like a cult of math. I think you're in a cult of math when you weekly get together and have a competition about it, or yearly. I think that you could be described as being doing ritualistic cultic things with math. I'm not saying that that's a bad idea. I'm just saying it's sort of the loosest definition of these words, right? So am I technically, is this a cult? Fuck yeah, man, because I'm about to do some fucking crazy rituals, eh? Watch this shit and tell me this shit ain't a cult. Because here's what we're going to do. We're going to worship, and then we're going to pray to the Creator. Okay, and I want to point out that these are two separate ideas. I do this every week, and this might be boring to a lot of people. If it's very boring, skip ahead to about 20 minutes after all the explanation's done for the real good invocation. If you're like, I'm just here to feel that noodly appendage, because they told me that they could prove what they're saying when I have an emotional reaction during this service. And so if you're just here for that emotional reaction, if you're just here to feel the warmth of this noodly appendages, go ahead and skip ahead. Wait for that time and go ahead and skip ahead, and you can feel it when we invoke the Creator of this reality, the imaginer of truth and love. You'll feel it. But if you want to understand why you're feeling it, please do stay around and listen to us as we talk about it. For just like, apparently when magic is done, you've got to remind your audience now, I am creating illusions for you. We have to be clear about that. And that's the unfortunate thing about this is, how can Penn and Teller can maintain their illusions and yet be sure that no one's misunderstanding that there is no magic here? And another thing that happens to magicians is they immediately and they quickly pick a side on the debate of, can you steal with this, right? Is it moral to use these tactics to take things from other people, right? And is presenting this as truth theft. Those two ideas happen very quickly with practitioners of such dangerous things as this. And so, as a practitioner of something so dangerous as cultic activity, I take my calling very, very seriously. So, let me explain what's going on. Let me talk about placebo, let me talk about ritual, and let me talk about worship. And let me take my time. And let me also say that I'm disabled for political reasons and at least financial reasons. I'm disabled from using the music that I would like to during this show here. The reason that we have created a new show and started it right now, even though we've been talking for an hour, is because during the show we're not going to break their rules about using music, even though we're obviously doing it satirically, doy. And so I think that we're covered by the satire idea, the exemptions for satire. Just I want to say that to be clear, that this is not lost on me. I find it very ironic that this is totally satire and I have to follow the real rules. Okay. But anyway, so that's why we're behaving so strangely, is because I can't use the music I would use here. I would use music that made you feel things emotionally, that made you focus on sort of ideas, maybe infantilized you a little bit, or maybe you felt connected to other people, made you pushed you towards sort of an empathetic idea. But I would manipulate you emotionally with sound, which is quite fun and enjoyable. And I want to point out that that's how Kanye is using his entire grift as a sound grift. If you go and listen to his content, there's nothing there to make you a happier person. It is all about the music that's being made. And so as a person who's not allowed any of that, I'm fucking pretty good at this game. Hey, Kanye, if you want to come by and have a conversation, if you want to learn how to have a conversation, come on by. If you want to get that in there, because fucking Kanye started playing a game that he doesn't know shit about, and is ignoring a very large part of this conversation. Right? He just will... He posted the other day on Twitter, I'm here to convince the atheists, and fucking Anthony Magabosco said, well, come on by. Fucking hilarious, man. Like, of course, yeah, fucking see if you can handle the words in Anthony Magabosco's mouth. I doubt it, Kanye. I would love to see. Like, I'd love to fucking talk to Kanye. You know, I mean, that would be really good. But as far as, like, who would I want to see beat up Kanye? Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Anthony Magabosco, let's do that. Like, I don't think anyone would do it quite that way. I'd very much like to see him be like, well, yeah, but you're an idiot. Like, it would be very nice. I mean, not that that's what Anthony Magabosco is saying. That's definitely not what he's saying. But, I mean, you know, he sure helps us see how wrong we are, don't he? So, anyway. That's because we're idiots. No. Don't be offended. Don't be offended if you're an idiot. I mean, we all are. That's what I'm trying to say. If Anthony Magabosco makes you feel like an idiot, well, be proud of that, eh? A lot of people try not to hear him.
Yeah.
Anyway, fuck you, Kanye. Because you're playing with something very dangerous, you're taking advantage of people, and you don't give a fuck. It's a very, very dangerous thing, this thing of worship. Maybe it ought to be outlawed, okay? If it's something that we can control, like our tendency to be violent, we should. We should stop. Because it has a tendency to hurt. But there's a case that we cannot. And I don't care what the truth of that is. It doesn't really matter. So I'll just say, because I can just say, maybe it is. Because if it is, we still need a fucking safe way to practice this game. If you've got to worship, fine. Let's figure out a safe way to do it. Because I can see a lot of unsafe ways to do it. I see worship of the wrong ideas, creating in this real world some very violent and grotesque situations. I think that the Pulse, not to belittle any, I don't want to talk about, like, we just had another fucking American school shooting, so I don't mean to, like, you know, not talk about that and talk about this other one, but, you know, it is the American culture is like, oh, where was it this time? Instead of like, what the fuck? Right? It used to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And now it's like, oh, and this time where was it? That's just definitely not a good progression on that one. But anyway, I think a lot of them are religiously motivated. I think the man who killed the people in the Pulse nightclub was himself a gay person. I think that there were 50 people who were murdered that day by religion. because it cannot accept the idea that the world is not black and white. So worship brings people to very despicable places, and so as people who are bound to worship, even though it's such a dangerous thing, let us declare safety first, hey? Let us use methods that we know cannot accidentally shame our gay kids into killing themselves, eh? Let us be responsible with our use of this thing that we must have, hey? This thing that we are addicted to. And I pledge to do this, as a leader of a one and true cult on this earth. And so, I have thought long and deeply and very, very hard about what it is I worship, and what I worship is, I confess to you now, as I have many times, truth and conversation. Or truth and communication. I sort of don't really know how to pick one of those two. So, and all I say is, this is where I am in the conversation, right? If you are like, well, I have thought long and hard about worshipping conversation, and here's why it will bring you to some very dark places. I'd love to have that conversation, eh? That's what I'm having with myself. So, that's where I am, and we are where we are, and all we do is confess and speak and listen to what's said back and continue the conversation, eh? We refine the language in our minds. And so here I am, and as a person here, what shall I worship? I shall worship truth, and I shall worship conversation. With my own rituals, I shall do these things. I declare, for example, I worship truth by declaring it out loud, like I'm doing here. This is where I do it, where I take the time to break it down. This is the space. The space has begun. I'm in it. I'm doing it. This is my ritual. You are witnessing it. And I don't mean to suggest to you to do these rituals, because these are the rituals. Yeah, hold on. It feels so good. It's just like, yeah, here we are. We're at that rituals joke. I know this place. It's very nice. And hopefully I will adjust these as time progresses. Hopefully these things will not stick to me for decades, such that I'm unable to notice maybe I blinded them for decades and missed them. Meow.tk wonders, would it be wrong to worship the invisible pink unicorn? I don't know. I don't know if it would be valuable either, right? Does the invisible pink unicorn desire worship, is sort of the question. I don't know about wrong. That's a really good question. That's the point, is I'm being accused of worshipping the devil. And I'm saying, no, you worship a book and I worship truth. That's sort of where I am in the conversation with these people. So I don't think it depends if the unicorn wrote a book. It depends if you're worshipping the unicorn or the book, kind of. And you got to pick, right? So I'd like to see it. I'm not saying don't try it. I'm saying let's have a look at it, right? Let's see what worship of the invisible pink unicorn would beget. Because a lot of the people playing this game have been saying, it is by the fruits that you know them.
Yeah, take notes.
Yeah.
Report back.
Yeah, very good question. I'm looking forward to how that question gets answered in the coming weeks. But as I'm saying, I don't worship the flying spaghetti monster. I think that even if he does want to be worshipped, no, fuck that guy, right? He'd really need to explain why he deserves worship. I'm not going to worship something that's dangerous to worship, like the chaotic creator of good and evil, right? I'm going to worship just truth. And I won't worship the absence of truth, which is also what Flying Spaghetti Monster is, because he's the container of all things. Eh? So, I don't choose to worship the whole. I choose to worship life. It's like I choose to worship life, though I don't. Because I think that's something... I think cancer worships life, as it were. So there's sort of like... You know, you play Dungeons and Dragons a lot, and you're like, you know what? A lawful good character can do some really weird shit. It's not just good stuff they do, right? Depending on how the orders are coming down the line. And so, yeah, it's I don't know, hard a question to answer. What is worthy of worship? And so I'm just doing it as like an insider, you know, inside the jar, trying to figure it out, right? So I'm taking it a piece at a time, right? So tying the little pieces, making sure they're safe, and I've only got 2 right now. I like some people suggest there's a 3rd one. Some people say, well, what about love? And I'm like, well, that sounds magical and great and everything, but like, I mean, that's why I was polite, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know.
That's why I allowed my family to abuse me for so long.
That's right, because I was such a nice guy, hey?
Believed in love.
Because I love them, right? And so you can't criticize people, you know, if you love them. I mean, sort of. Anyway. Don't worship love. I mean, enjoy it, eh? You don't worship ice cream, right? But it's nice, it's great. You don't worship it. Because it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous thing we're doing. Like, I agree when they're like, these people over here, they were worshipping idols and false gods, and it's like, yeah, that sounds like a dangerous thing to do. But, like, it's really hypocritical of you to think, worship my god, because it's not false, or an idol. It's like, what? No, no, you also worship an idol, you bastard. There's no other options, eh? The gods are created by men, right? Because, you know, none of us understand the flying spaghetti monster, you know? When the Christians are talking in good faith about sort of their dreams of what it's like, it's like, okay, well, that's flying spaghetti monster, right? But when they're talking about the myth and the lore that has been handed down, it's like, no, that's just crusty shit, right? That's just Jesus stuff. But when we're talking about what is fairness and what is morality, we're talking about the creator of the universe, the flying spaghetti monster, right? So, don't worship the flying spaghetti monster, even if he asks you to, okay? Because he might. He's really weird, but don't. Why? Why would you worship him? It goes along with the same thing that Christians say, that like, well, you're his slave, and I go, what? A slave? Why am I his slave? And it's like, he created you. I was like, why the fuck did he create slaves? What a really weird dude. I think slavery is immoral. And he was like, I'm going to create slaves. What? Wow.
Things I own.
Yeah, don't do that. Create individuals. Create equals, eh? So yeah. So as a person who's addicted to religion, which I am, from a long time I've been, I like how it makes me feel. I like the weekly sort of reminder of like, oh shit, what if I'm wrong about all this shit? Right? Mm-hmm. You know, like, oh shit, what if I have to change everything? And like, do I have to apologize for all this shit? Yeah, I like that weekly reminder. So, much like marriage, you know, they don't own it. Like, they didn't even make it up. They stole it from somewhere and pretend that Jesus said it. So, yeah. You don't have to give up everything about religion just because you're like, it's bullshit. Oh shit, it's all bullshit. But you don't have to throw the babies out, right? So, one of the babies is how nice it feels to fucking do religion, right? Like, just snort it up your nose. It's a very nice drug. Let's do some fucking religion every week. Yes! And I'll be there. Huh? I'll do it with you. And if you're like, I don't want to get up and talk, can someone do it? And yeah, I'll do it. I'll direct the services. And now that I notice that I am in fact doing that thing that I'm talking about, I've noticed it's time. The time has come. The explanations are over. The worship of truth has ended. I did it. I worshipped it by talking about it, explaining myself, going over some very, very boring shit in a ritualistic manner. Creating a place and a time where we do it. And creating a group of people that join together to do it. I didn't create you people, but I appreciate your participation.
Space.
But I created the time and space, and you created the group of people, as it were. And I appreciate that very muchly. And here we have a cult. And we, as a cult, are afforded the rights of any of the crazy motherfuckers out there. So fucking have a look at all the crazy motherfuckers, and let's get those rights, man. It's delicious. We get them all. Because we are the true ones. We're the one true cult. So we get the rights of all the fake ones, right? Doy. But anyway, I will now invoke, to prove to you what I'm talking about, I will make you feel something inside by praying to the creator of all things, the imaginer of reality, the decider out of time, as it were. If there's a reason for the universe, then that's what I will talk to. And I'll make that thing talk to you. Through time and space I will send a message, like I am now, and I'm encoding it in on the internet, and it's coming to you through one channel. And I will give you a reach around, as it were, and touch you through another channel right in your heart. And a warm and saucy channel. And I'll make you feel something inside when I pray to this creator, and you'll see that even though I don't know everything, I am a prophet. And I can talk to the creator. Even though it's impossible. Even though we know this thing can't be done, Even though we know we're just sort of making it up inside. No, I'll make you feel it. Now, it makes me very, very emotional. Like I said, I've been addicted to this for a long time, and I have reactions inside when I do this. And I'm very embarrassed about it, to, like, become emotional in front of people, and to talk about things that I really care about in such a vulnerable way. But I'm also addicted to it, so please do allow me. And accept my apologies if it becomes too uncomfortable or takes too long. I will now perform my charge in the office of Pastafarian Street Preacher. Please do let me know if the background sounds are too loud. Oh, flying spaghetti monster! Oh, creator of all things! Oh, dreamer of the dreams! And singer of the songs! And lover of the hearts! And bringer of the day! And the warm, comfortable nights, we ask you to come into this world again, because we'd like to talk to you, because we've noticed you, O Flying Spaghetti Monster, again. During our last week of life upon this earth, we noticed things going so well and wonderfully and comfortably and lovely that it can only be two things. It's either you, O Flying Spaghetti Monster, or we are just incapable of understanding what confirmation bias is and overcoming it and recognizing coincidence when we see it. O Flying Spaghetti Monster. So we please again say, please, please, fuck off, fuck off! We've got it, hey! We did it, we figure it out, we got the tools together, we'll do it. When you're fucking around and like pretending like you're like moving the levers, when we don't look, it makes some of us think to ourselves, well then why do we even try? So please, if you'd like us to show you how well we can do without you, please be without. But we do appreciate your kind love and interest and, you know, and your jokes as well. They're quite funny. We again thank you for this creation, this wonderful world. So beautiful and joyous if we just take the time to witness what is happening, if we just let it be what we find it to be. What a beautiful reality it is. What a beautiful curse it is to have a death sentence in this one and true reality. Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, we thank you for the friends and cohorts that we have to endeavour this life with. We are very grateful for the joyous and kind parallel processes that we find around us to enjoy this place with. We thank you for the truth and the power of truth. We thank you that we have an ability to focus and our minds become clearer and clearer, that as we move into the future we can see more clearly and broadly that things that we thought may be lost to us are even recovered. Oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, what a reality we find ourselves in, and how grateful we are. And please do, Flying Spaghetti Monster, assist us in our quest for truth. Please assist us as we worship those things that are worthy of worship. Of course, not you, creator of chaos and darkness and death, but the idea of truth. Please do help us as we clear our minds of the mythology that is so grotesque and dangerous about us, that would lead us down a path of suicide and self-destruction that, on a galactically embarrassing scale, oh, Flying Spaghetti Monster, allow us to survive the constraints of this mere reality. Please watch us and fuck off as we do another week of this dance that we do. In the name of truth, in the name of love, and in the name of Flying Spaghetti Monster, I say these things. Ramen. Thank you very, very much, Pastafarians, for joining me for my very strange rituals. When I do these things, I feel things, and I don't mean to tell you what to do, but I do mean to tell you to figure out what to do. And please do that right now. Please listen to these sounds and take some time to reflect, not on how you're going to be more like me, but on how seeing me be me is going to help you be more like you. So thank you, Pastafarians, for joining us today, and welcome people who are new Pastafarians. If you have at some point during my prayer or my sermon, you felt something inside that you can only describe as the warm noodly appendages of the flying spaghetti monster, and you realize that I do have a connection to this creator of all, and you would like to learn more about that, you want to be a Pastafarian, then now you're a Pastafarian. So congratulations to all those new members, or if congratulations are not in order, my apologies for making you Pastafarian, I guess, against your will. But you can be Pastafarian, whatever you were before. Don't worry about that. We're not that exclusive. We don't come after your money. But if you do want to give us some money, go check out Patreon. So thank you for coming by. If that wasn't long enough to sort of focus your mind on spirituality, my sincerest apologies. I will get the hell out of your day today, and you can continue your spiritual reflections and your personal rituals, and figure out a way to worship that is safe and kind, and maybe benefits those around you, right? Who knows? Who knows what your worship looked like? Who knows what you find worthy of worship? And please do, and declare it loudly, because I think this is a very faceted conversation. This is not an us versus them. This is a spectrum. What are the many ways we find to worship? Hey, let's. There are many answers to this question. Hey, what an exciting time! What a question to explore. And please do join us, not only on Radio Show, which will be going on for another week, and my Friday services, which we are doing right now, but also the upcoming show. Hold on a minute, I've got the name of it right here. My apologies. I have it written down for this important occasion, and it's on one of these ones over here. Is this it? Nope. Oh well. It's a show called Let's Debate About It.
Define your terms with schizophrenic Mitch.
Oh, she knows. She didn't even read off her notes. Holy Jesus.
Finally, a place to have the conversation.
Wow! Goodness gracious, that's it, exactly. Fucking yikes, this is so embarrassing. Here it is too, look, immediately after it I found the card. That's the worst. Well, anyway. If you want to see more of the worst, do check us out at Define Your Terms with Schizophrenic Mitch. Finally a place to have the conversation. Coming to you this winter. Also, we're doing a mystery science theater. I called it Mormon Science Theater. Although someone said Secret Temple Theater, and we're like, that's pretty good too.
Secret Temple Theater.
Yeah, so we're working on the Christmas ones, and good golly, those are hard things to watch. Even at double speed, they're pretty rough. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I have to do after this, is go do some homework. That's why I'm sort of dragging my heels here, making it more radio show, but there's no music to listen to, so yeah, I gotta get out of here. Sorry, Pastafarians. Sorry for dawdling. I didn't mean to, in the Mormon church they got so mad at you when you fucking stuck around after it. Like, move along! So, thank you, Pastafarians. And again, my apologies. We will definitely see you next week. Much love from Safe Word Studios.
Bye.
Mwah.